What's going on, everyone? CRK here, and I'm back at you with another episode. Although this time it's not going to be any of these pennies that you see back here. It's actually something that we picked up at one of our favorite spots whenever we get a chance to stop by. So this place is a little far for me, but if you ever find yourself in Las Vegas, definitely check this place out. I'm not sponsored by them, and they definitely don't pay me anything, but just a very reputable coin dealer that has a nice display and array of coins and metals and some good bills too. They have some nice history. They have a little bit of everything that I can think of, but I want to share with you guys some cool things we picked up. So I actually picked up 2 coins, as you can see here. I'll show you what they are in a moment. But yeah, if you have a chance, check them out. They actually even have, when you come in, they have a really nice epoxy floor that's full of a bunch of nice coins. So worth the visit if you find yourself in Vegas. But let's go ahead and start with this one. Check this out. So here, I'll give you a sneak peek of the other one since you kind of already saw it. But here, what I want to show you is this 1922. And what I liked about this one, I know the date is going to be a more common date, but essentially what I liked and enjoyed about this was the fact that it is in overall better condition as far as the coin being preserved in the best way possible. You don't see too many signs of like someone tampering with it or wear. You know, you got some nice detail on the hairlines there, so everything is pretty much where it needs to be, which is why, like I said, even though this was overall a more common date, this was a coin that still caught my eye because it has all of that luster of a coin, that essentially could have been circulated for a few years and then put away, and ended up in someone's silver collection. So this one here, I would say overall is what I wanted to give, because this essentially is going to be rightfully so gifted out to the person who had won one of my I don't know which 1,000 it was. I think it was 1,000 sub giveaway. A long story short, the person won. We never found a way to communicate, and then I don't think they ever realized they won. So this is going out to them because I finally, after a few years, I think they bumped back into my channel, left a comment, and then I was like, hey, I think you won the giveaway a long time ago. So congratulations to that person. They know who they are. This will be should be in your hands by the time this video comes out, because this will be a few weeks gone. But essentially, like I said, I wanted to give a coin that had all of those details, as opposed to, for example, I'll show you the wear and tear on the next coin here, so you can see the difference in wear and tear from this to this, right? So that's why, although the date was more common, I wanted it to be complete as a nice collector piece. With still some of its kind of lust in the background there, so it still has some of that, and I wanted to make sure that that's how that was. So let's get into the second coin. And it sounds like my neighbors are getting ready to go for a ride, so I apologize on their behalf. The weather is very nice outside today, so make sure you go out and give yourself some time outside. Go out for a ride yourself. 1902 Morgan dollar. Check this out. So this one had a lot more wear. Definitely a lot more wear, but what I enjoyed the most about this was the character, because this definitely has some good character built into this. And I want to show you guys what I paid for all of this. I also want to show you the price per coin, all of that. And I am curious. I'm gonna call my local dealer and see what they are offering, or what these are going for today, since essentially I did buy these maybe about 2 months ago now. It's been a while, so about a month or two. But yes, these here I picked up individually for, drum roll please, Let's check it out. $38.34 a piece. So let's just say silver has definitely come a long way from when we first started collecting these back in, I want to say about 15, 16. Yeah, probably 14 even, but we probably started collecting these heavy in about 2015, 2016. And realistically, at that time, these were about 15, 16, $18, $20. They started to jump up, during, the CVID time, 2020 and such. But yeah, these I was picking up for not pocket change, but for a few dollars, right? So $15, $18, it's come a long way to 30 something and change per coin. So $38, you're almost at 40. So it's very interesting to see that jump, but it also reaffirms my choice of deciding to stack these, right? I always say this is a lot easier to stack. Hopefully we never have to barter with this, because it becomes one of those things. If you have too much silver, then how do you carry it, as opposed to swapping some out for gold. But I think we did some math, because these were troy ounces. I think I still needed the my dealer told me it was like 80 or 100 something of these to equal 1 ounce of gold. So those are other things to consider when you're stacking these. But for me, I always did it for fun, and because I knew that I figured at least my main value would retain. I wouldn't lose value, right? And so that has really come to fruition, and with time has really proven itself to be true. So when in doubt, just I would say not financial advice at all. I'm not a financial advisor, but when in doubt, stack what you can. Everybody's different. Do what's best for you. But like I said, the long term, it's one of those things that it's hard to miss. You'll see here, we've even started stacking copper. I don't want to go crazy with copper, but I wouldn't mind having 20-30 pounds on the side, because even each penny is becoming the value of 2 or 3 pennies. So keep that in mind. This will be the final US currency that has essentially any intrinsic value or any value at all. This stuff is all essentially funny money. So we got about 2 more buckets, and then you'll see that these essentially will disappear, and this will be the only thing you'll want to keep in your stack if you're stacking any of it at all. Yeah, so 2 more buckets, and then that's pretty much all I want to stack. So that'll kind of get me to my 30-pound goal. 20-30 pound is what I'm reaching out to. And then on these two, like I said, this will go into my personal stack. 1902. This, I didn't tell you the mintage on this too, so I would like to get into that, because this coin, either way, I know it's in really tough shape, but to me, this character that is built into this 1902 is definitely worth, because not only is it an S mint mark, it's also just 1.5 million. So this is 1,530,000 of these minted. So again, it's missing some of the details, but I think a quick Google search will show some of these going for higher premiums just because of the lower date. And so essentially, if you think about 1.5 million, and let's just call it a third of it has been either destroyed, I don't know, hopefully not melted, but destroyed in the aspect of being put into jewelry, chains, belt buckles, made into rings, so things like that. Let's just say it's down to 1 million, and let's just say there's 330 million people in the United States plus, right? Plus maybe more, but essentially that really brings down your limit to about 1 million coins, if that. So do you really have 1 million of these trading on the market? Probably not. So essentially what you can do is, although this coin is in tougher shape, it's got some dings, To me, it's character again. It goes back to character. You still see the full date mint mark. You have some nice like toning in there that I don't know if it's authentic or if it's built into it or what happened. But again, full date. You see most of the details. You're missing some of the eyes. If the eyes was a little better, I think this could command an even higher premium, but you can still see a portion of it there. So something like this, again, I think long term you'll be able to command more of a premium. So if you buy this for 38 bucks right now, it might not feel like the greatest deal, but that perspective might change based off of the numismatic value. It might change off of the silver value, and so that's why I always kind of did bank on these, because essentially, yeah, they made 50 million of this, but if a third of it is gone, it's not 50 million anymore, it's 35 or whatever that is. So keep that in mind when you're collecting too, is as time passes, people are going to keep doing silly things with these, putting them into belt buckles, which looks cool, but continues to damage it. Jewelry, or cutting them up and make rings, right? So when they do that, when you cut them up, when you put them into belt buckles and stuff, most of the time they're kind of gone forever. But these are still here, they're still standing strong, so keep that in mind. When in doubt, stack what you can. Some of these assets, stocks, real estate, whatever you can do. So definitely leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are, and we'll catch you on the next one. And if you haven't, I would definitely appreciate a thumbs up because it definitely helps the algorithm. Catch you on the next one. Peace.